Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me again. We will be doing a Dutch pour, but later on in the video, so it'll be the second half of the video. Today we are doing paint consistency, and I'll be mixing my paints just with water. Usually I do use Floetrol, but this time I thought I would mix up a batch of paints with just water, the paint and water. So I have some Liquitex Basics medium magenta, so I've got that one. I have Montmartre violet, I have that one, and I've got two little metallics here. So I've got Montmartre metallic silver and phthalo blue, so I've got those. So I'll be mixing those up with water. I'll be doing measurements, and I'll be showing you the consistency for a Dutch pour, because we'll be doing a Dutch pour today. And then I'll be showing you on the consistency chart where you just add less water to do like ring pours and whatnot, and swipes. So let's get started. Okay, so you'll need your distilled water, your paint. I use these little cups to measure the paint, just for, you know, whatever you're going to put in here will do 2 or 3 paintings. To do my base, I use a bigger cup. So what we're going to do is, I use a scale, it's just a kitchen scale. So we'll just turn it on. And I've got it in grams. So what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit of water in my cup. Just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll do the colours first. So I'm going to put an empty cup on here, bring it back to 0. 0, come on, 0. Okay, so I want 10 grams just of the water. Eight, 10. So I'll just put my 10 grams there to the side. I also have extra water in here, which I'll show you what we do with after. Okay, so we get another cup, put it back to 0 again, and we might do the pink, the magenta, the Liquitex Basics. Okay, so I'm going to put in 15 grams of paint. Okay, so that's 15. Okay, so next you'll need your wooden skewer. So then we have our water, and we're just going to put in just a little bit at a time, and then we're going to mix it. We don't put all the water in one go, we just put a little bit at a time and just give it a really good mix. So a little bit more, mix it. takes a little bit of time just to mix it in, and that's not even running, that's way too thick. Okay, a little more, and then mix. Okay, so it's getting there, so what we do is add a little bit more water, so that's what this is for. So just do a couple of drops at a time, and then we give it a mix. You don't add a whole bunch at one time because it'll go too runny. See, that's still a little too thick. So let's put more water in, and we just keep stirring it. It's getting there. We want it to be just sort of drizzling off here, and it's nearly there. Bit more water. Get all the sides, scrape up the bottom. Just about. Liquitex is a thicker paint than the Boil. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. We're nearly there. So your water will vary between the different sorts of paint that you use. Okay, so if you can see, just needs to see it drizzling off there. Probably just need just a touch more. I think that should do it. Okay, so see how it's just drizzling off there? That's what you want. Okay, so we will put that to one side, and whoops, let's do the Montmartre. So bring it to 0. We're going to put 15 grams of paint. That would be it. Okay, and we need to measure our water. So we'll just put our water cup on there, bring it back to 0, and to start off, I always start off with just the 10. Okay, turn this off. So we're just going to add a little bit at a time, and we'll give that a little bit of a stir. Okay, so it takes some time to mix this. So you're never going to have an exact measurement of water, but I always start off, if you're doing 15 grams of paint, always start off just with the 10 grams of water. Liquitex is thicker than the Montmart, so you'll probably find you'll need less water with the Montmart. So we're just going to give that a really good mix. So this has the same amount of grams. This is a thicker paint, so that's nearly to the top. This is a thinner paint, so it's probably half full, and I've just about got the consistency that I need. Okay. So a bit more water. And then I will do the little metallics for you. Give that a bit of a mix. There we go. So if you look at this one, this is only half full compared to the Liquitex, which is a thicker paint. And see that drizzle? I think that should be enough water. So I've still got a touch left, probably a ml left of the water, which I'm not going to put in at this stage. Okay, but this is the consistency you want it, just how it drizzles off there. Okay, so that's those two. Okay, turn this back on. Now I'm going to be doing my Montmart silver. So just put this on 0. Now this is only 18 ml, but we will just squeeze that in there. Just squeeze all of it out as much as I can. And then I push down the other side. I love these Montmart metallics. They're absolutely beautiful. Okay. So these... Oh, okay. So let's put that to one side. So this is 18 ml. So I will still measure my 10 ml of water. 0. Come on, that would have been 10. Yep, 10. Okay, turn that off. Okay, so there's my silver in there. So again, just out of your 10 ml, just slowly put that in there. And give it a really good mix. How pretty that is. So keep mixing it really, really well. We want the water to bind in there. And add a little bit more. Because I've just used the whole tube, just do a little bit of water each time. You don't want to, if you put too much water, you won't have more paint to put in there to thicken it up. So just a tiny bit at a time, and take your time in doing it. that really good mix, and then just test it every now and again. So as you can see, it's not falling off my stick, so it's still way too thick. So we're going to add more water. And we're just going to keep mixing this. I think I'm knocking the table. Mix, mix, mix. Lovely day outside today. Sun's out. The cat's been outside to have a play. Looking after the grandcats today, so I've got another 4 rag dolls I'm looking after today as well. And a bit more of the water. And they're all very well behaved and getting along nicely. Okay, so we're slowly getting there, and I'll put the last drop of that 10 ml in. So far I've used all of the 10 ml of water in with the small metallic, the 18 ml metallic. Okay. Scrape all the sides. Now I'm just going to do, I need a little bit, still a bit thick, so I'm going to add just a touch more water. So I've just put 4 drops in of water. So I'm sure you've got a bottle laying around that you can just put some extra water in. So give that a little bit of a mix. I'm going to stop leaning on the table because I'm shaking the camera. Okay, another 4 drops maybe. And then I think we should be finished with this one. Decided to do sort of Harley Quinn colours today. So I've got my pink, my purple, my silver, and I'm going to throw in a metallic blue. So another couple of drops. So just preparing your paints to do a pour when using water just takes a little bit of time, but if you've got some bottles, whatever you don't use in here, or if you've got little containers with lids, you just pop it in there. Or if you're going to use these next day, I would just Glad wrap them, put some Glad wrap on it. Okay. This is thicker than the purple one. It's the same brand, Montmart, but my silver is thicker. Okay, I think we should just about be done. A little bit more water. So, and I'll show you how we test the consistency shortly. It's better to have it a little bit too thick than too thin, because you can always just add a little bit of water. Okay, so that's it there. Just runs off here. That's all we want at the moment until we test it. Okay, so they're my 3 colours. I just have one more to do, which is the blue. So because we don't need to measure it, we know that's 18 ml, so we'll just put that straight in the cup. I'm just going to empty all of it in, as much as you can get out. Squeeze every last bit. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Okay. And then I always turn it around the other way and just give it a good squeeze down. And squish it. There we go. Besides the Amsterdam metallics, I really love the Montmartre metallics. They're beautiful. Okay, so let's put this on 0 again. We want our 10 grams of water. Here's my 10 grams. I'll turn that off, move that to one side, and this is the last one I need to mix. Besides, I need to do the base colour, so we will do the base colour, which is a different measurement. So I've just put a little bit of the water in the metallic blue, and we'll just give that a little bit of a mix. So I always start off with my 15 grams of paint and my 10 grams of water. Just add a little bit at a time. Give it a really good mix. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay. So as you can see, it's not coming off the, I've used pretty much nearly my 10 mils and it's slowly drizzling, which means I just need more water. So I'll just put in that last bit. Give it a really good mix. Make sure you mix your water in really, really well. Usually if I'm doing up bigger quantities, then basically whatever measurements we have here, just double them and double them again. And you can just measure it into the bottle, and it's just a matter of shaking the bottle instead of mixing like this, but we'll do it this way for now. Okay, so you can see just needs just that little bit more water. So just put probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of water. Give it a mix. Okay, and maybe 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. Now remember what I said, because I'll show you how to test these on the consistency chart. We can always add more water if it's too thick. So we'll just, it's running off now, so we're going to leave that. So that's our 4 colours. We'll bring this back. We need the bigger cup. Put this on 0, and my base is Boil Snowball White. So this you get from Bunnings. What's good is when you finish this, peel the sticker off and just use this container over and over again. Okay, so we want this on grams. Okay, we want 60 grams of paint. Oopsie. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so 60 grams. Right, 60 grams of my base paint. Okay, so can you see that? 60, 60, 60. Okay, so, and I need 40 grams of water. So 0, go to 0, 0, 41. Okay, so I'm starting off with my 60 grams of base paint, and I've got my 40 grams of water. So again, I'm just going to pour some in, and I'm just going to use my bigger stick. You can use the bigger sticks for these as well. I just have the little ones laying around. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a mix. Make sure you get in the sides and everywhere. Scrape all your sides down. Really good mix. Right, so it's nice, and if you can see that, but it's leaving a mound, and we don't want it to leave a mound, so we're going to put more water in. Now obviously if you have a bigger canvas, I would put in, I'd do double this, so it'd be 120 paint and 80 water, 80 grams of water. So if you can see that there. Okay, I just need a bit more water. So we're just going to do this, a small canvas. Today I've got a 10 by 10, and it's just a thin one. So if you don't think you have enough to do your canvas, by all means get a second cup, make up another batch of your 60 gram paint and 40 gram water, and just add it to this, or just keep them in the separate cups, and it's just extra if you need it. So this should be good. So what we'll do is check the consistency of these paints, and I will show you how to do that. Okay, so we've made up our paints. We're going to be checking the consistency because we're doing a Dutchpour. So obviously if you're doing a your swipes and ring pours, then the consistency is a little bit different. But today we're going to be doing Dutchpour consistency. So the other ones will be thicker. This one needs to be just a little bit thinner. Okay, so if I'll just show you this. So I've got a little grid here. So if you just draw a line on the top of a piece of cardboard, measure 2 centimeters between here and here, and that's where your mound is going to go, your circle, probably about half an inch circle. You're going to put some paint, which I'll show you. Then we're going to hold it up, count to about 5. It needs to reach at least this line. Okay, you can go a little bit under, not much, but it needs to reach this line. So you need to measure from the top of this circle down. I think it's about 4.5 to 5 centimeters between the top here, not here, but just here to here, about 4.5 to 5 centimeters. Draw another line, and then we're going to do a drip test. Okay, so we're going to give this another mix, and we're going to do these drip tests before we paint. So I'm going to put a mound here on that one. Then we're going to do the blue. I think the blue might be a good consistency. I think the purple might be just a little bit thick. It's the blue, the pink, so you want a good mound, half an inch. Half an inch is about that size. Okay, and then we'll do the silver. Whoop, silver's a bit much. Oh, doesn't matter. Okay, so now I've got all my dots on here. We're going to lift up, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this has not reached here, so my purple's a little bit thin, so it's gone over the line, because these all have to be the same. So all we're going to do is add a little bit more paint. So you're just going to put just a little dollop of paint in there. And we're just going to give it a mix. Okay. Oop. Throwing it at myself. Give that a bit of a mix. Now, we will test that again. Now, with the blue, it needs quite a bit more water. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of maybe 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10 drops of water. Okay, give that a good mix. Okay, looking at the pink, it only needs just a touch of water. It needs to reach this line down here. Okay, so let's just put about 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 more drops of water in that one. Okay, and probably the same as my silver. Probably another 1, 2, 3, 4 drops in my silver. Okay, might do a little bit more in the silver. Silver seems just that little bit thick. Probably another 4 drops. Okay, so maybe. So let's try the purple again. I think it might still be a bit thin, the purple. So we put dollop there. Do the blue. Pink. And the silver. Okay, so I think it actually needs just a touch more. Didn't make my dollops big enough. Whoop, that one's a bit too big. Okay, so got my dollops. Lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my purple, pink is perfect now, so we don't have to do anything more with the pink. Silver just needs that bit more water, so we're just going to add a bit more water, and we just keep doing this, adding the water. Like I said, it's better to it be too thick than not than too thin, because we can always add water, we can't take the water away. Okay, the purple we just need to thicken up just a touch more, so we just add a bit more paint to it. It's just another dollop of paint, and we'll give that a really good mix. But the pink is perfect. Okay, right, the blue, the metallics, it's just needs just that little bit more water. Touch more. Metallics look thin, but they're actually thick, aren't they? Okay, so let's try the blue again. So that's the blue. So I think the silver needs just to be a bit more thinner. Okay, that should, I'm rocking the table, that should about do it. So let's do that one there. Okay, so let's try those two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's just getting there, so I just need that bit more of the water. Best to get your consistency right than not. And this one, add that little bit more. And that should be it. So the pink, if you look at it, it makes a little mound and just disappears. Okay, so my purple should be pretty good now. Oh, making a mess. So let's have a look at the purple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my purple, if I can lift it up, it's reached the line, so we're happy with the purple. They're both good. Let's try the blue again. Put it here. And pretty soon you won't need to do this chart. You'll just be able to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't want to budge. I think because it's next to this one. Let's do it on this side. Okay, that one. And what else do we need? The silver. And the blue. Okay. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the silver is great. We're just going to add a little bit more water to the blue. Okay. And that's done. So these 4 paints are at the correct consistency. Okay, so if you want a copy of the chart, just put a message in the comments, and I will do one up and send it via message or email to you. But it's pretty simple. Just do a line here, measure 2 centimeters, do another line. This is where you put your dollop, which is about a 1/2 inch dollop. Then you measure from the top of the dollop down about 4.5 to 5 centimeters, do another line, and that would be your consistency for a Dutch pour. Okay, the other one we need to test is the white, because your white has to be the same consistency as your other paints. Okay, so we'll just do a dollop up here, and we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's nearly at the line. We're just going to add that little bit more water just to thicken it up just a touch. And I think we're good to go with all our paints now. There we go. So always do while you're learning, always do the drip test, because as you can tell, a few of these were at different consistencies, so until it reaches that line, you either thicken it up or thin it with some water. Just remember that with these metallics, I use the whole tube, so it's better to use less water and thicken it up slowly. Okay, so let's get ready to do a bit of a painting. Now we've mixed up our paints. This is just mixing up paints with the water, so I hope this was helped you, and let me know in the comments below if you have any questions whatsoever. I would just like to point out that I've got paint all over me. I would just like to point out that with a Dutch pour, it needs to touch the line, because a Dutch pour, because we're using a hairdryer, it needs to be quite fluid. Whereas these shorter ones here, like that one, the shorter ones that are thicker, all you need to do is, if you wanted to do a ring pour or a swipe and whatnot, you can leave them thicker. Okay, you don't want them really thin, although I have before done ring pours and swipes and whatnot with the consistency of a Dutch pour. It works out better when they're thicker, but I have done it. Okay, let's get ready to do a painting with our colours.